last guy was super creepy.
Raw Den is the heroic-only boss in Throne of Thunder. You only have 30 attempts to kill it per week, otherwise he goes away. The good news, however, is it's considered far, far easier than Lei Shen Heroic, and because you'll need to kill Lei Shen to actually activate Raw Den, it should be a cakewalk relative to the struggles you had on the prior boss. The reason why it's considered so easy is it's essentially a solved boss. As long as you do certain positioning, the mechanics become almost irrelevant. Phase 1 occurs between 100 and 40% life on the boss. The raid stacks in the middle, and we're going to have two markers about 45 degrees behind the boss, kind of making a little triangle. Then a debuff called Unstable Vita will apply onto a random raider. They will run to one of the open markers. Then we're going to do a big Q, just like Garelon. This is because the Unstable Vita will be passed to the furthest raider away from them, which will be, by design, the other marker. So the Unstable Vita will pass from the first person to the next person in the queue, and then the next person in the queue will then go to the now open spot, which was used by the original Vita user. And basically, we're going to go back and forth, passing one after the other back and forth in these two stack positions between a big queue of raiders. Another mechanic in Phase 1 is called Crackling Ad. At a random location, an ad will spawn, and our DPS has to swap to it and DPS it down. You can stun them, but it's probably not best to stun them until the 20% mark, because at 20%, it must be stunned and knocked away from the stack, then killed finally. The further away from the stack, the better, because it does an AoE explosion on death that reduces in damage the further away it's been killed. The final mechanic in the Phase 1 portion is called Materials of Creation. A blue ball and a red ball will spawn in a random location in the room. Our DPS must swap to the red ball, called the Essence of Anima, and kill it as quickly as possible. Now, killing the red ball stops the blue ball, and this is very important because the raid receives significant damage if one of the balls hits, and raid wiping damage if both of the balls hit. And because they move at the same pace towards the boss, if none are killed and the boss doesn't move, it hits them all at the same time. Our goal is to kill the first, second, and third red ball. We're going to let the fourth red ball hit the boss, but we got to make sure that the tank moves the boss towards the red ball. Otherwise, if you just let it happen, the red ball will hit at the same time as the blue ball, and it will be a wipe. By moving the boss towards the red ball will explode, and the blue ball will disappear. We'll of course pop defensives and heal cooldowns during this targeted explosion, and then we'll go back to killing the 5th, 6th, and 7th hit, and if we need to have the red ball explode, we'll do it on the 8th. The question is why are we even letting the ball hit? This is because in Phase 2, which is at 40% and lower, no more crackling and material creation abilities occur. However, there's an ability called Ruin, which is raid-wide damage scaled based on the number of balls let in from Phase 1. So because we've let in some specific balls in Phase 1, we have a better time with Ruin. So essentially we lust and burn, and he dies at 5%.